love or hate this background. I love all of this. I think I hate the fact that you can see me in this mirror. I don't know, we're testing this out. Also, I'm filming with a new camera. I upgraded mine because my old camera used to overheat really, really quickly. Let me know if you can tell a difference in quality. I think there is a difference. I'm not sure, let me know. So today is all about winter and hibernation, which is my favorite time of year by far. For a summer baby, like for a Leo, I really hate this summer. Or at least I hate summer in Virginia, which is where I've lived my entire life. I just know, like deep in my soul, that I was meant to live in a colder climate. I just thrive when it's cold outside. I love when it gets dark really early at night. We've already passed the winter solstice, and so the days are already starting to get a little bit longer, and I'm like, I just love it. But the reason that I love it is, one, I get seasonal depression in the summer, which is called reverse pattern seasonal depression. And two, winter is the time for hibernation, and hibernation is the highlight of my year. So I started thinking of my habits in the winter as hibernation a really long time ago. I'm not sure the year, but a long time ago. And basically, I started reflecting on the fact that everything else in nature, at least in the northern hemisphere, slows down, and animals hibernate, plants stop budding, they're preparing for spring. Things just feel a little slow. And I think to some people things feel dead, but to me things just feel dormant, and there's a big difference between those two things. Humans used to live more cyclically as well. Humans used to live more in pattern with the seasons as well. But now we have electric lights, and we don't depend on the sun for everything, and we have the same routine every single day regardless of the season. And that's not good for me. It's probably not. I don't think it's good for anybody, but I don't want to speak in too general terms, but I'm just gonna say it's not good for me. I strongly believe in living seasonally and adjusting your patterns and your routines according to the time of year. If nature does it, I want to do it because I just feel like it's better for me. If you're new here, hi, my name is Mary. I'm 24. I'm an editor. I do freelance writing and editing. I also do content creation. And I'm also in school right now. I'm getting a postgraduate certificate in editing. And I have bipolar type 2 disorder and OCD. So when it comes to framing my life in a way that really honors and centers itself around taking care of my mental health, like, I'm all about it. I am all about it. So when winter comes, I hibernate. Over the years, I have developed this routine and a set of habits that really help me love winter and just help me make the most out of it. And I started sharing this on TikTok last year, and I was really surprised by how many people seemed to resonate with it. And last year, I was mostly talking about the Danish concept of hygge. Apologize if I'm saying that wrong. I have watched so many pronunciation videos. I have a hard time with the vowels. You probably heard of hygge back in like 2016 or 2018 because it kind of took the Pinterest world by storm. And then this year I decided to take it a step further and really share how I feel about hibernating very intentionally every winter. And to my shock and surprise, it resonated with a lot of people. A lot of people were like, wow, I've always hated winter. I've always had really bad seasonal depression, but this seems like genuinely helpful things that I can do to make it better. If I can help at least one person to think of winter as a time for intention and rest and focusing inward and like safety and peace and coziness and kind of a time for like restoration and reflection, that would make my day. I have a notebook. I made some notes of things that are important to me I'm going to share. I have my little cup of tea, very essential for hibernating. Here are my actionable, accessible, reasonable, practical tips for enjoying your hibernation this year and every year, and I hope that these help. Tip number one, overhead lighting is gross and disgusting and does nothing for you. In some rooms you have to have it, like it's helpful in the bathroom, it's helpful in the kitchen, but in your bedroom and in your living space, overhead lighting is gross. It brings the mood way down. So instead, think about ways that you can incorporate ambient, like mood lighting into your space, and just watch how much it transforms your area. This is easy over Christmas because a Christmas tree with like the fairy lights kind of gives off that ambiance and that vibe. But since it's after Christmas and New Year's and we've likely all taken our decorations down, you can accomplish this in a bunch of different ways. If you have lights that have a dimmer switch, just make them more dim. You could light candles, you can string fairy lights, floor lamps, table lamps, desk lamps. I like a mix of all of these things. I have a couple of lamps, but I also like burning candles. If you don't like scented candles, beeswax ones are a good option. Really bright electric lighting messes up your circadian rhythm and it just doesn't flow. This also helps you sleep better. If you make like very intentional lighting choices in the evening, I find it also makes me sleep a lot better. There's also an aesthetic appeal to it as well. Like, look at the difference between a overhead lit room in an ambient lit room? Which one looks more cozy? Which one do you want to spend an evening in? You know what I mean? Okay, tip number 2, winter in hibernation is a really great time for focusing on hobbies and crafts that existed before the internet. And that's kind of going to be like a running theme in this video. Honestly, in all my videos. The internet is amazing. Social media has so many wonderful qualities, but does it really make you happy? Because I know for me, it doesn't. Like, I follow loads of creators that I love, that entertain me, that educate me, that I truly enjoy. On certain platforms like TikTok, it's hard to just see videos from the things, like from the people that you follow, you know? The For You page is always gonna be flooded with people that you follow and that you signed up to watch their content, and also things you did. When I get stuck in those mindless, endless scrolling patterns, I feel shitty. Like, I just feel bad. And one of the biggest things that helps my mental health is to just put my phone on do not disturb or put my phone on airplane mode and to just not get on social media. Lately, I've been very intentionally not looking at social media until I've already been awake for an hour. I think that social media and the internet in general is fine when consumed with moderation, but how often was I really practicing moderation before this? You know what I mean? And this is not to like judge anyone. I'm not, honestly not even talking about anyone else. I'm just talking about myself. I was not practicing moderation and it was not good for mental health. So now I do practice moderation and things are going better. So how this relates to hibernation for me is that if you're not on your phone as much, that frees up so much amazing time for hobbies and crafts, pre-internet hobbies and crafts. It just feels like such a wonderful way to ground yourself, really connect to generations that came before you, and also it just feels a lot more natural. So I have a couple. I love crafts. I like crocheting. I like cross stitch. I'm working on a macrame wreath right now. I also love reading, love reading. I love taking baths. I enjoy going on walks. Being in nature is amazing. I do live in a city, so I don't get to go in nature as often as I'd like. I literally manifest all the time that someday, hopefully soon, I will be able to live in a place that has much easier access to nature. Okay, I'll actually show you my craft box. Okay, brief change of location because I wanted to show you my craft box and a couple things that I have made lately. Now, the point of this is an important point. You don't have to be good at your hobbies. You don't have to be a talented crafts person, like a really talented crocheter, or I don't know. The point is not to be good at these things. The point is to enjoy them. And so I'm fully aware that the stuff I'm about to show you is by no means like super artfully or masterfully done, because again, that's not really the point, but they bring me joy, so it's fine. So this is my craft box. And I have 2 things that I've made recently. I made this scarf recently and I really love it. I have been wearing it so often. It's this really cool multicolored, but sort of like muted multicolored yarn. It's by Lion's Head, and it's so warm. I also crocheted this hat, but to be honest, I don't love it. I used the moss stitch, and I don't know if I chose like the wrong thickness of yarn, or I don't know. I don't love the weave. I just don't really love the way that it looks. It's not horrible, and I mean, I've worn it and I'm proud of myself for making it and for finishing it. Definitely not my favorite, and I kind of want to try to make another beanie with a smaller yarn, and I don't know, but it's cute, it's warm, it's whatever. In my box, I just keep my crochet needles, my yarn needles, and whatever else I'm working on. I have like little bits of macrame stuff in here. Other thing that I'm working on right now that I can show you is this little cross stitch. This is what it looks like currently. It is going to look like this eventually. It's gonna be this little, what's it called? Rising moon. Really like cross stitch. I used to do it a ton at the beginning of COVID, like right during that initial lockdown in like March 2020. I cross stitched a lot. Haven't done it in a while, but I'm back. And then yeah, I just have my crochet needles, yarn needles, whatever I'm working on, I just kind of throw it in this box. Tip number 3, and this kind of goes along the last one. I've sort of touched on this already, but it's just the importance of unplugged time. And I know it's so hard. Like, I literally am addicted to my phone. I have so many like vices on the internet. I am addicted to online shopping. I am addicted to comparing myself to others in a negative way. Yesterday, I woke up and scrolled on my phone for an hour. And guess what? I felt like shit all day. Today, I did not, and I feel much better. So, okay, tip number 4. When you hibernate, your safe space is your home. Hopefully, your home is a safe space year-round. I have definitely had living situations where my home was not a safe space, whether it was roommates or the area or the actual like apartment itself just didn't feel safe. But some of you might be watching this and thinking like, okay, you know, I don't have bad roommates, I don't live in a bad area, but my home doesn't really feel like a sanctuary. In order to combat that, this is a really great time for home projects or really just cultivating your home. This doesn't need to be expensive or anything. Maybe you have had a home improvement project that you've been putting off for a really long time because you just like haven't found the time to get to it. Maybe you want to repaint a room. Maybe your garbage disposal is broken. Maybe you just have a bunch of pictures that you want to hang on the wall. Maybe there is a bag of donation clothes sitting in your corner that's been sitting in that corner for 3 months and you haven't taken it to a donation center yet. I'm saying this because I'm staring at mine right now. You know, it's like little things like that. It's also a great time to declutter, to clean out your wardrobe, to donate all of your unused stuff. You know best like what will make you feel peaceful in your home. But this is a really great time to go for it, you know, to do those things. I moved into this apartment in October, so I kind of did all of the home projects and cultivation before the winter started. But 2 things I do want to accomplish moving forward is I do want to get these donation bags out of here because I've been here for way too long. And I'm also looking for a rug or something of that kind for the bedroom because this apartment has hardwood floors, which are really pretty and I like them a lot. But I think maybe even if it's just a runner by the bed or something, I'm not sure. Something to add a little color and a little texture and coziness to the bedroom. It could be like rearranging your furniture. Maybe there's a way to make your furniture flow better or to make your daily habits more efficient. Maybe you just do a deep clean. You know, it could be anything. Like this is so open for interpretation and open for everyone to do what is best for them. The next one is a really big one and it's very hard to achieve in this day and age. And it's just the importance of rest. And I mean real rest. Like if you're resting, but you're feeling guilty for resting because you're like, oh my God, there's so many other things I could be doing right now. That's not restful. In order for rest to be healthy and not productive, in order for rest to really be conducive to your health, you have to not spend the whole time worrying about everything else you could be doing. You have to commit to resting. And that's hard because I know for myself, like there are always things that I feel like I should be doing, whether it's for working online as a content creator or my school or working offline and cultivating my career as an editor, or whether it's like texting your friends back and giving enough time to your family or your relationship. Like there always feels like there's a zillion things that you could be doing, but what are you doing for yourself? Like what are you doing for yourself? Some ways that I practice rest is, I think I said this, but I like taking baths. I love taking baths. I used to take baths all the time growing up and I would like hide in the bathtub with a book and just read for honestly way too long, and it just felt like such a safe little space. I read this thing once that was like humans like baths because it reminds them of being like in their mother's womb surrounded by amniotic fluid. I probably just made that up, but I swear to God I read that somewhere. Whatever the case may be, I like a bath. I don't let myself go on my phone while I'm in the bath. I usually read. I also like to light candles in the bath because then we also have that like ambient lighting going on. And it's just time for me. This could look like saying no to social plans and trying to get over like your FOMO because you are burnt out and you need a little time to yourself. You know, taking an extra 10 minutes in the morning to do eyeliner for once because you love the way that eyeliner makes you feel, but you always feel like you never have time for it. Maybe this looks like building a coffee station in your house and making your coffee a big part of your morning routine instead of grabbing coffee to go. There's a real beauty in slowness and being very intentional that I think winter encourages, and it goes in direct opposition to everything that society tells us. Commit to rest and relaxation when you can, when life allows, but don't just like wait for the perfect opportunity because it never feels like there's a perfect opportunity to unplug and do nothing. Sometimes you have to like carve time away to do that. Sometimes you have to like write in your schedule, okay, for this hour on Friday night, I'm not gonna do anything and I'm not gonna feel bad about it. Whatever rest looks like for you, however rest works in your life, just don't feel guilty about it. The last tip I have is about connection to nature. This is something that I don't feel like I have a lot of right now and it makes me very sad. I grew up in a really rural area and nature was everywhere. There were trees everywhere. I grew up really near the coast, so lakes and rivers everywhere, and it was a very short drive to the coastline. I don't have those things right now. I really haven't since I moved away from home. I left home when I was 18. I officially moved out when I was 19 and now I'm 24. I miss nature a lot. Like I feel it deep in my heart that although I'm very grateful for where I live because I don't drive and this is a very walkable area and that's really amazing. Like I can walk outside and it's not that far to grocery stores or to coffee shops or even like There's a Barnes & Noble within walking distance of me, and those are things I'm extremely grateful for. But the trade-off is like, if I want to go out and just like sit in nature for a couple minutes and breathe, there isn't really a great place to do that. I don't mean that you have to take up a ton of outdoorsy hobbies if that's not your thing, but this could look like just paying a little bit more attention to what nature is telling us in different seasons. Hibernation is all about winter saying it's time to slow down. It's time to retreat from the world. It's time to look inward. It's time to evaluate and make plans to move forward. Like, you know, spring is for new beginnings and summer is for like enjoying the moment. And then fall comes around and it's like things are starting to quiet down. That's so beautiful to me. Like, it's just so beautiful to me. This probably sounds really woo-woo, and maybe it is, maybe I am, but I think listening to what nature is trying to tell us in each season is one of the best things that I can do personally for living the happiest life possible. I sincerely hope that you enjoyed this video and that it was even just a little bit helpful. And if there's anything that you can take away from this video that positively impacts your life, please let me know in the comments. I'd really love to hear it, whether that's changing your lighting, whether that's picking up a new hobby or a new craft or a new book, whether it's, you know, rearranging your furniture or just, you know, any of the things that I talked about in this video. I really hope that this helps at least one person. This might not be for everyone. All I can do is speak from my own life, but this is something that really helps me every single year, and I look forward to it. You know, I really look forward to it. I need to figure out how I'm gonna like keep the spirit of hibernation alive in my life during the summer, because that's the time where I like really struggle. That's a problem for future Mary. Thank you for watching this video. Please let me know what else you would like to see on my channel. Let me know how 2023 has been treating you so far, and I hope that I see you in my next video. Bye guys.